Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm great.
Well, I just want you to know that it is absolutely a pleasure to have you joining us today. So much so, the way you branding right now, I can literally see my logo in your glasses. Shout
Oh yeah, yeah.
out to you for branding.
This is where I always do Zoom stuff, and I realize that it's reflecting, so it might as well be your logo.
Might as well, and I sincerely appreciate that. How are you doing today?
I'm outstanding. I'm having a great day. I'm moving into a new place
Good.
right now.
Oh, you moving?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of moving. Yeah.
Are you going from state to state or from location to location?
Oh, just within the city. I'm just going from sharing a house to my own house.
Okay, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm so excited to talk to you because, and I actually told my husband, and he was like, Word? We literally watched your Netflix stand up special maybe about 2 weeks ago, and we were downstairs having a good ass time watching this Netflix special. Brian, you are everything. I wasn't actually familiar with you prior to the special, but as I was watching, they give you like the little snippet preview. And I
Right.
was like, oh, this is my type of hype. We go in, and now I feel like I'm one of your biggest fans because see, it don't take much to get me in. If you have the talent, the charisma, and you have that intelligent humor, I'm in. And I'm gonna stick beside you. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down with you.
I appreciate that.
So let's talk about the Netflix special. How did that come to be?
Well, I mean, honestly, it was a long journey to that point. I mean, I guess everyone has that story, uh, but it originally started uh, with a set on their Sirius channel. Netflix is a joke radio.
Okay.
That was my first Netflix interaction, and then and it's been a crazy journey because I was originally supposed to be on a um like a documentary slash reality thing of comedians on Netflix, but the pandemic canceled that whole production. And so everything was just kind of up in the air. And then the first day that Los Angeles, or the first week that they allowed bigger crowds to gather, and we had Just for Laughs in Los Angeles. Um, it was just serendipitous because everyone was there, all the industry and everybody, because it was the first thing that everybody could do. And I
Mm-hmm.
did very well. And the next day, they gave me a half hour on Netflix, which you should also check out on the Stand Ups season 3. I'm the first episode, and that got such a huge response. Less than a year later, they offered me the hour special. So, and it was a long time coming.
Absolutely, because I know like everyone doesn't get that opportunity. I mean, you've seen where some comedians literally gripe about never having the opportunity to have a Netflix special. So the one thing I have to give them credit for is they got the right one. They definitely got the right one.
Thank you. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your comedy as well before we get into some other things. With the state of comedy, with the world being so super sensitive as it is these days, and censorship, and you have to be politically correct, and you don't want to get canceled, and all of that, you really come across like you don't give a damn.
I think. Um, you know why? Is because I noticed that lots of people have been canceled or at least uh, attempted to cancel or whatever it is. And when you look zoom out and look at the situation as a whole, you'll notice that the only people that ever are actually canceled are the people that committed like a real crime, or they were presenting themselves as one thing and they were turned out to be another thing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and so real ones don't get canceled. You can't cancel a real one because everybody that rock with me rock with who I am authentically. So
Hmm.
if all of a sudden that's a problem for people, it's always going to be a problem for those people. But the people that are my fans, they already know who I am. So
Absolutely.
so my early on when I first got to Hollywood, that was the first thing I observed is like everything you have to be fake to get, you got to stay fake to keep.
That's a
So,
word.
so when if you out there following the trends and jumping on, what they're looking for at the moment, I mean, that's bad in so many ways, but that's how you set yourself up to get canceled. You want to present yourself as, America's dad and all those other things, and then it turns out you drugging people. Well, now
Okay.
all those people that rocked with you because you were that, now they're like, oh, now I don't even know who you are. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
it's that kind of thing. But then you turn around and look at what other situation? But they tried to cancel Tony Hinchcliffe, right? I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
Mhm.
he they tried to cancel him for making fun of the Asian guy that was on the stage before him. But he's an insult roast comic. So all those millions of people that watch Kill Tony every week and rock with him, they were like, I don't give a damn. And then he ended up getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And
Right.
so I think as long as you do everything you can to stay true to yourself, and I'm not 100%, I don't think anyone is, but as long as you try your best to stay true to yourself and have an authentic, honest connection to your fans, canceled isn't real.
I think that's one of the things that I really enjoyed so much about your stand-up comedy and your style of stand-up. It is so thoroughly authentic that you can't ignore it or stay away from it if you wanted to. And then you make people really look at themselves. Because when you said, and this was kind of, at the beginning for those of you who haven't seen it yet, when you said how a white person, like basically how they rate their racism. And it was like some white people walked in and if you see a certain amount of black people in a room, you question whether or not you're in the right place. And it's like you make us really look at ourselves,
Mm.
really take account of ourselves. And I think that's one of the things that I truly honestly appreciate about you. And also I understand why you would punch a chick in the face without.
My mom loves that joke.
And listen, especially, what I appreciate as someone who has a son,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna let you stomp my mama out. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
you can go ahead. I mean, she liked to talk shit, but I'm not gonna let you stomp her out. So, I sincerely appreciate you. You're just so funny. But I know that you're a veteran, and you also mentioned that in the special. But first of all, thank you for your service. As someone who is a veteran, how do you go from being a veteran to civilian life to being a stand-up comic? Like, at what point in your life did you realize, like, I have a gift? Because I mean, I meet funny people every day, but there's a difference between being funny and being able to be a stand-up comedian.
Oh, definitely.
And you know that. I know you know. So, when did you realize like you really had the gift to just be like, I could literally make a career out of this?
I think the difference between being funny and being a stand-up comedian is the difference between being fast and being a wide receiver. You know,
Mm,
it's the being funny is the basics, but there's so much more to it. So many
mhm.
more intricacies and things to the point where, like, I don't know if any. I don't think you can ever stop getting better at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but honestly, it was the Marine Corps. I was a very serious child. I was a foster child,
Okay.
and so, um, you know, I bounced from place to place to place to place to place. I joined the Marine Corps to kind of get out of my hometown, and and I realized that. So this is hilarious. The unit I got to
Mhm.
had just had a racial incident where one of the Marines accused the captain of being racist. So the captain got moved somewhere else. All the black Marines got moved other places, and nobody told me anything. So I'm there, I'm fresh. It's all white people, which is not really unusual. And but everyone is being extra super duper nice to me, too nice to me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Especially for the
suspiciously,
Marine Corps.
Right, exactly. Everyone's being too concerned about whether I'm okay and all of those.
Yeah.
And finally, I had to be like, "What is going on here?" You know, and then my warrant officer pulled me in the office, and he explained the whole situation. So I think I had probably been there for maybe like 2 months before somebody told me why everybody was being so
Uh,
nice, and he was like, "Yeah, so like people aren't gonna stop like walking on eggshells, like you know, that's just what it is." And I was like, "Okay."
mhm.
So I just started saying whatever I wanted to say. I was like, if I'm gonna be uncomfortable, everybody gonna be uncomfortable.
I know
You
that's
know,
real.
started joking about because I'm like, I'm gonna get it out of you how you really feel. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
be walking, because I'm not gonna feel like I'm by myself out here. And then it was no topic was off limits. I was joking about race and gender and all of those things back then, but I was just telling the truth.
Mhm.
I sort of because nobody wanted to, because everyone was kind of walking on eggshells. I sort of ended up in a situation where I was I wouldn't get in trouble for saying things like most of the time.
Mhm.
And so I would just say what I really thought.
Mm.
And you know, if you do that enough, eventually you realize, oh, like people are laughing. Like when I'm complaining, I'm saying what all of them are feeling, but they can't say
Yes.
it. But if you say it at the right time, it's funny. And
Mhm.
I literally wasn't trying to be funny.
Wow.
I didn't really know I was funny, but I was getting laughs all the time, and to the
Yeah.
point, yeah. And then I messed around and saw a live show. It was Don Marrero back. He
Uh-huh.
he he saw us at a restaurant, gave us tickets, and I was just blown away. And I wrote a joke that night when we got home.
Wow.
And then all my friends kept pressuring me, and to the point where when I got out of the military, my going away function, they had like a little thing set up. They was trying to like surprise me and have me do stand up, and
Oh,
but I was terrified. I didn't do it. I
you
was
didn't do
ter-
it?
I didn't want to be bad at it.
So let
You
me
know,
ask you this. Did you ever and I know I don't even know if this is a good question for you because just based off of your personality, you don't strike me as someone who feels uncomfortable in front of crowds or speaking in front of people. But because you said you were scared, but it was because you didn't want to bomb. It's not because you have issues speaking. Because I at one point in time I wanted to be a singer. And I thought I was going to be everything, Brian. I thought I was about to be like top of the charts, all that. And I had to stop due to stage fright. Stage and it was to the point where it was something that, you typically you overcome stage fright. But for me, it was so grappling to the point where I felt like I couldn't even overcome it. Like if I could overcome it physically or vocally, my stomach was on bubble guts. I'm on 10. I got to be in the bathroom. So I can't even stay on stage.
Yeah, some people still do, like even the biggest performers in the world. Some of them still have to take like beta blockers and stuff before they perform. But I've never. I mean, I had a little bit of the physical, like for my first like year in comedy. I would always wear black pants so you couldn't really tell that my leg was shaking.
Mm.
But I would not call it stage fright. Yeah, I was not scared to be in front of people.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was scared of people I know seeing me be bad at it.
Mm.
And because I'd always, my auntie used to take me to this uh, poetry spot in DC called the Kaffa House. I
Mm.
was a little poet when I was a teenager,
Okay.
and I was always, and I performed before,
Mhm.
just never stand up. So the stage
Okay.
I was not afraid of the stage.
Mhm.
But it still took me years to give it to really go after it, because when you haven't done it, it's weird when you start doing stand up. You realize it's everywhere. It's all over the
Mhm.
place. It's probably an open mic on your somewhere within 2 or 3 blocks of you, and you don't even know there's people performing in there every night, and it's right there. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep.
And I did, so the world seemed so inaccessible back then. This was 2011 that I started,
Mhm. Okay.
and there was only Facebook, maybe I think Twitter hadn't really be. I don't think Twitter came out till 2012.
Yeah, something like that.
And Vine and those things, but there was no, like, now the kids are starting comedy now. They're so good so quickly because they have this just boundless resources of podcasts and
Mhm.
books and Twitters and YouTube videos on what to do and and there wasn't none of that back then. And so it just such a mystery, of how to even start. Where do you even go first?
I
You know?
didn't even think about that, Brian, because now that you mentioned that, they even can test material on social where
Yeah.
you would have to go into a club, hop on a mic, come in, and they could actually test jokes or run material on social and just to see how many likes it gets. Does it get retweets? It's
Right.
almost like, what do they call it? Almost like some type of group testing. I forgot the phrase when they bring
Focus
people
group.
in and yeah, focus group. It's almost like focus group testing instantly on social media. So I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, yeah. So it was it was a big obstacle, and then back then I was in school, so it was a lot of hesitance. But eventually, I ended up going to a comedy show with one of my classmates, and it was terrible. The only person that I didn't think was terrible was the last guy, and I walked up to him and was like, and my friend, she goes, you're funnier than these people,
Hmm.
and I was like, that's all I needed to hear.
That's
I'm
it.
funnier than these people, yeah.
Go time.
And I walk up to this guy and I go to the funny guy and I go, how do you even start? He's like, just go to an open mic. And I was like, where are they? He's like, everywhere. I was like, okay. And then that night, I'm walking home and I walk into a bar, and those people had just wrapped up this storytelling thing that they do
Mhm.
every month. And this like nonprofit organization. It's called So Say We All in San Diego, and they do, they teach you to tell story, how to tell your story, and they enhance it with the audio visuals. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they were going to try out stand up, you
Mhm.
know, and I was end up laughing and joking with these people, and then he was like, "Hey man, we're gonna do some comedy. You funny? You want to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I got booked for a show before I ever even did any stand up, and
Wow.
the show was 2 months away or 3 months away. And
Mhm.
so then I started hitting all the open mics to try to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So, nobody I knew saw me do stand up until I was had been doing it for 3 months, I think.
Okay. I know
And
that you said one of your fears was bombing in front of people who know you have. Do you ever feel like there was a situation where you bombed?
oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in front of nobody, not in front of my family, not in front of my military friends or my
Right.
family. I don't think so, but I've definitely bombed quite a few times. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
How
but
is that? What is the moment when you know you bombed? Like, is it when because I mean, I guess the obvious people aren't laughing, but is there something like something for a comedian that regular degular people like ourselves may not catch? Like, is it something, is it a look that you may notice on someone's face in the audience? Is it a sound or a groan you may hear? And when something, because I've seen people bomb, okay, I've seen people, you're not one of those people, but I have seen people bomb.
oh
And
yeah,
it's like, and I've seen some of the people that are considered the greats kind of bomb, and people, I guess, because you like them, you just, oh yeah, no, that wasn't funny. That was awful.
right.
Um, but is there something like, is there like a spidey sense that you have, like this isn't going well, and do you pivot immediately, or do you just like try to see it through and try to like
Um,
shift it?
it depends on the situation because the question is flawed because only because bomb is used very frivolously, right? Like, because some people
Right.
say bomb and they mean that joke didn't do well. Like, I did it and I didn't get a laugh.
Hmm.
And and some people say bomb. To me, a bomb is the opposite of a kill, right? When we say we're killing, when we're doing well,
Right,
we say,
right,
well, I'm
right,
killing.
right.
And so what? Okay, I'm gonna give you the deep answer, my little overthinking thinker's answer.
Okay, I'm here.
If I see stand up as basically the people you're talking to are giving you control of their imaginations. Leadership is part of stand up.
Mm-hmm.
It's people willing to let you be in control of what they see in their mind. So they open up to that, you right? So if you think of it like I'm painting a picture, like I'm like I take a Picasso and I break it up into a puzzle, and I put a piece here and I put a piece there and I put a piece here, and when I slap the last piece, the punchline,
Oh.
everybody should see the same picture, right? Well, people have to trust you for that. And some people decide they trust you so much that they completely locked in and you have complete control of what they seeing in their head. They not doubting nothing, they all on board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you kill. When you're so because it's not just that they like the material, but they've bought into the whole thing, your look, your vibe, your stage presence, everything, and they're all on board. To me, you killing is when you've convinced all or most of the people in the room to love you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Bombing, real true bombing, is when you completely lost them. There's no hope to recover. They've decided that it's not even your jokes. They don't like you. And so you can't even recover, because even if you flipped and told your best joke, it ain't gonna work because
It's
they've
done.
decided, nah, not you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. There's other ways to bomb. Sometimes it's
No.
pity. Sometimes you're so bad and you're making everyone uncomfortable because of secondhand embarrassment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but those people that bomb in that way usually aren't funny because they lack the ability to honestly self-assess.
Yes.
So I mean, but I'm sure you've interviewed so many. There's a lot of people in the show business like that where they don't even know, they don't notice that they're bombing. They don't notice, they can't read the room whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think also empathy is a part of stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to sense where the mood is
Yes.
shifting. It's almost like
Yes.
have you ever walked in a room and you could just feel in the air that there had been a physical altercation in that room
Yes.
recently?
And I have walked in rooms where I feel like I need to turn around and walk back out because it's about
Exactly.
to hit the fan.
Yeah, so it's something in the air. It's that ability to read the sense and read the
Mm-hmm.
room. That's how you know if you're bombing or not. So anyway, my point is, yes, if you look at bombing as like bombing and killing like on a spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
it's degrees to it. If you look at it like either or, you're either killing or bombing or doing well of it, either or. But yes, I've not. It, it's been very few times that I've actually bombed where my whole set was just off the rails and the audience turned on me.
Where you'd be like, all right, then thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm out.
Oh yeah, because the first time it happened, it hurt me so bad.
Oh,
I almost quit that day,
well, I've been there.
and so I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how unprepared I was. But
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I hope I answered your question. I tend to ramble.
You
It's a
did.
lot.
And you know what? No, actually, I probably could talk to you all day, Brian, because I love the fact how not only you're like me, I like to try to just expound on whatever my thought process is because I I think deeply. Some people think I'm a just I'm just chatty patty, but I like to think I think deep. But no, I definitely appreciate that. As a comedian, who are some of your influences, and not necessarily influences, but just who are some of the people that you look at as the greats in your craft?
Ooh, man, it's a lot.
I know. I
Um,
know there's so many, and I know there's usually the top tiers, but
I like Red Fox. I like
mhm.
George Carlin, Chappelle. Um, um, Man, so it's so many great
Yeah.
ones. I like Bill Burr, Wanda Sykes.
Mhm.
I'm really, I guess, honestly, I'm really more a fan of the jokes than the
Ah,
people.
gotcha.
Where
Yeah.
it's almost like,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, because I'm not really into this culture of like celebrity worship, So it's like
Yeah.
I and I would say those people tend to have more jokes that I love than other people. But even comics I don't think are that great. They still have a gem or two.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They got a few things in the back pocket. I
yeah.
know
Because
that.
I actually love the craft. Like I actually
Yeah.
appreciate the when I hear a joke, because I've been doing it long enough now where I I can see punchlines coming 90% of the time.
Mm,
So I'm truly impressed when you throw me for left field, right?
mm-hmm.
Because the creativity comes like somebody when I first started, they explained jokes to me like this, where they say, say you drive from work, your drive from work to home is, you go up 2 blocks, you make a left, you make a right, you make another left, and your house is right there. Well, a joke is me taking you on that same road. We go up 2 blocks, we make a left, we make a right, we make another left, but there's a hamster wheel instead of your house. So it's like I'm taking you down a familiar path, and I'm leaving you
Right.
somewhere unexpected, right? And so it's like the 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 more I mislead you, the harder it hits when we snap back this way, and and so that's where the creativity comes in, and that's where people really impress me is when their ability to say a joke, to say a punchline that I didn't see coming. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, earlier you mentioned that you grew up in foster care, and I
Mhm.
know that a lot of comedians take, I guess even with the theater, like the laugh and the cry face, I know a lot of people take their experiences or things throughout their life that may not necessarily have been the best experiences, and they're able to channel those and turn those into art and make it part of your art. Is that something that you've done as well?
With the foster care stuff,
Hmm.
what's so funny is I only have one joke about it, or one joke really concerning it.
Hmm.
But I mean, not directly, but indirectly. Moving from place to place and from family to family, it gave me a very early glimpse uh, into a lot of the similarities of different people and that sort of
Hmm.
thing. And it gave me an early ability to read the room. Because because if every couple years you with a new family, you at a new school,
Yep.
you learn very quickly how to tell what's safe, what's dangerous, who's trustworthy, um, that sort of thing. And those sort of people skills is what foster care really gave me, is the
Yeah.
ability to just read my environment
And adapt.
and adapt. Right.
Adapt quickly. Adapt quickly. So what do you have coming up? Because I need all the shows. I need all the stand-up specials. I want more Brian Simpson. I need all of it. I want all of it.
Well, yeah. So okay. So you can check out my. So there's a my late night debut is on YouTube with the David Spade Show. That's from years ago, but that's on YouTube. On Netflix is my half hour season 3 of stand up episode
Mhm.
1. Also, that's my time with David Letterman. There's a little more stand up on there and an interview. And you can check out Live from the Mothership, which is my newest 1 hour special on Netflix. I've been doing, check out all the comedy podcasts. I've been on Joe Rogan a few times. I've been on Your Mom's House a few times. You know, Flagrant. All those things are coming up. And I'm on tour also right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be at the Netflix the Joke Festival in May in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store there. And I'm going all over the place. I'm gonna be this year. I'm coming to Tacoma, Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, Philadelphia, Vegas, Denver, Cleveland.
Didn't hear Atlanta. Didn't hear Atlanta yet. What,
There,
what we doing, Brian?
there is no Atlanta.
Brian. Bye, Brian.
Wait, that's not true. No, no, no. There's no Atlanta officially yet approved. So Atlanta will
So
come up.
you have to add Atlanta you have to add Atlanta just for me. You got to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to Atlanta. In fact, it's crazy. You know, what's funny? I've never been to Atlanta outside the airport.
You haven't had Magic City wings?
Nope, nope. I've been, because I'm a Delta guy, and Atlanta is, Delta is Atlanta.
Yes, yes.
I'm always going through there, but I've never like left the airport and enjoyed
Oh
nothing.
no. Oh no. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
You have to come
yeah.
in. You have to leave the airport. Got to leave the airport for a little bit.
I'd imagine that I have a pretty big fan base in Atlanta as well. I don't know why I haven't been there.
Yeah, yes. Who do I need to talk to? You email me. You email me. Let me know
No,
who I need to talk to.
it's already kind of in the works. We just
Okay.
haven't finalized nothing yet.
All
Yeah.
right. I need to be the first to know to make sure that I let my people know that you come into the city. I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, and also you can check out my podcast, BS with Brian Simpson.
BS with Brian. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's on the YouTubes and the Spotify's and all everywhere else you listen to podcasts.
Okay. So I want to officially invite you to be like a guest on my podcast. Come sit in as a third host.
Isn't that what I'm doing right
No, no, no. See, this is we're doing an interview, and
now?
we're doing
Oh,
the interview. I want you to come. We do a weekly podcast. It's myself and my best friend Carla. She's actually located in Darby, Pennsylvania. And what we do is we'll hop right on here and we talk shit for a whole hour and a half on the days that it's really going down. We talk everything from hip hop beef. Because, see, right now, I want the focus to be all about you. See,
okay.
when you come on the podcast, we're going to talk about everything. Okay. We're going to talk
Okay.
about why you don't need to go to a Diddy party. We're going to tell you, we're going to.
Exactly.
Last week I had to drag J. Cole for apologizing. You don't pop shit apologize. So,
Yeah.
so I
We
definitely.
we on the same page.
Okay. Well, we here. I
Yeah, yeah,
told you my guy. You are my
yeah,
guy. There's
yeah. Because
no doubt about that.
I'm right
I
there
know my
with you.
people when I see them.
Right. I'm like, you don't get the daggone because all the work it takes between when you record a track and when they come out, you had all that time to reflect. you
But
know.
you know, okay. So
Yeah.
since we're here, let me ask you about that because um, I just would love I know comedians are the new rappers when it comes to beef. We had a
Mhm.
lot going on this year, to be exact. Cat Williams kicked off 2024 with a bang, and there are a lot of different things going on. What are your thoughts on? I don't even know if I don't even. What are your thoughts on comedian beef? Do you think
Think it's
it's
lame.
a good thing?
Well, here's what I'll say. Because in comedy, your physical age isn't your age. It's like how long you've been in the game in earnest. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you could be 60 years old, and if you a year in the comedy, you sitting at the kids table. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so when I say, and I only say that so that when I say generation, you understand what I mean.
Right.
That generation of comics, they came up in a time when um when there were when there was on they came up in a time when it was ultra competitive for everyone, and especially for black comics. There was one spot. You only one person could be the man, or maybe two. They would let you, like, there was one spot for like the family friendly dude
Mhm.
and one spot for the rebel, and that's it. And
Mhm.
so they literally came up in a time where when I got something, it meant you didn't. And
Mhm.
now that we live in this day and age where you can create your own audience and your own lane, and it's so much money to go around. The new generations of comics, there's not as much of that. It's still wrong. It's still there, but
Mhm.
it's not as much old beef and unaddressed concerns and unvoiced frustrations. A lot of that is not there with the new generation of comics. So there's no, and not that there aren't legitimate reasons to. I put it like this: there's no legitimate reason for comics to be. There's no comedy reasons for comics to beef. Two comics beefing over some life stuff, that makes sense to me. But comedy beef isn't real, because, and I'll tell you why. It's because I think that when you in order to beef that hard to that degree, you have to take yourself. You have to be taking yourself too seriously, which is the antithesis of what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be poking fun at the things, relieving the tension. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, and here's the other thing too. Cat Williams is such a highly skilled comic because what a lot of people forget is that the interview was hilarious. That whole
Pure
time,
fun.
yeah, and not one time was he ever really heated or mad or any of that. And he built his reputation from being hilarious, so he get to be a little messy and then go back to killing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I don't I don't like the ripple effect it caused because now everyone thinks that they need to be in controversy. And again, it works, but like I said earlier,
It ain't
if,
real.
if that's you, if you're a gossip person and you want to be that, then fine. But if you're trying to be, if you think that you can be controversial to get the audience and then go back to being normal and they'll stick with you, you're wrong. So,
Mm-hmm.
Cat Williams got famous for being funny, not controversial. He
Yes.
got famous for being hilarious, and then he decided, you know what? If people have been speaking on my name, I'm gonna address it right now, and then I'm gonna go right because he ain't spoke about it since. I'm gonna go right back to what I've been doing, which is killing these shows. And some people think they can skip that part. They can skip the talent. He earned the right to be messy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you got to earn that. And again, only if it's you, because you could tell when you saw that interview, a lot of that had just been sitting on his spirit for a long time. He needed to get it off the chest. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like if you ain't really feeling that, that's weird. But also beef, comedy beef. That I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't have any of that. At least not that I know of. But I don't think I
That's
have any. Not, I don't know, there's probably people that hate me, but nobody that.
they
Oh,
ain't gonna say
I'm not going to participate in no
it.
comedy beef.
Right. Right.
At
You
least
know,
not publicly because I don't want to keep it up. I don't have the energy for that.
right. Right. My co-host on my podcast, she mentioned something just along the lines that you said. She was like, that whole Cat Williams interview was a performance. It was
Mhm.
a free stand-up comedy special for everyone who watched.
Yeah, it was.
It was a free stand-up comedy. She was like, he gave us a top-notch performance. And then, like you said, he put some little razzle dazzle on top, dropped a few names, dropped a few bombs, and then he left the scene. And everyone whose name was mentioned, now they're all fighting for their lives. And I think that's what made it so poetic. Like
Mhm.
he boom, and he walked away. And then now you have other people 2-3 weeks later, still going, trying to clean up whatever was left behind. But now
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and I'm
now
like,
I'm
call.
huh?
Like for me, if I had a problem with another comedian, I would just talk to them. I would either try to address them directly or
Mhm,
just avoid them. But
mhm.
I
Yeah,
can't. I couldn't see myself. I mean, they would have to do something really down and dirty for me to for me to air it out publicly.
mhm.
You know, and
Totally
they would have to be doing something that's costing me money.
right.
If you
Right. You
cost me
messing with my
money or
bag.
opportunities or something like that, that's when it would get sick. When you start messing with people's livelihood,
Hmm.
that's when it gets serious. But
Absolutely.
there's so much money in comedy right now for anyone to be beefing is kind of crazy.
Yeah. You made a
Mhm.
great point as well, as far as like the generations, the OGs versus, kind of like the new school, where it was everyone had to fight for a position, where now it's like several seats at the table and it's enough food for everybody to eat. So that definitely makes a huge difference in the scenario. But now I want to talk rap beef. Who's your favorite rapper?
Black Thought.
Ah, Black Thought. Okay. I can easily see that. It makes sense. It makes sense. So if you had said NBA young boy, I would have had to, all right, then Brian. All right, then Brian.
To be honest with you, I'm not that familiar with NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just not my it's
okay.
just a lack of interest for me in that space. But with the hip hop beef that's going on right now, I know we briefly touched on J. Cole apologizing. And my question to you is, do you think that it will impact his career down the line? Or do you think this is just a chink in his armor? He'll be fine. We know now he's not really about that life.
I think that the last year and some change, he was sort of starting to approach, like it was like he was leveling up before our eyes, like really going
Yes.
hard.
Yes.
And I think that this is a couple steps back from that. Like he was going full steam ahead, and then he took a couple steps back because, again, while his core fans gonna always rock with him no matter what, that audience of people that really love rap and hip hop, I think they were just disappointed. They're not gonna see him as somebody that they can, you know, that they can, because before any songs came out, like right after the Kendrick thing came out, everyone was like, "Oh man, here we go," and
Here
so
we go.
that's gone. No one is, because again, it's not like all of a sudden this makes J. Cole not a good MC.
Right. I just
Um,
don't I just don't want to hear nothing about him being one of the top MCs no more. I don't want to hear that.
Again, the best, no,
No, I don't wanna
because again, unlike every other genre, rap started with as competitive. You know,
bravado.
right? Like right from the beginning, it was the guy in our neighborhood that rapped the best. We gonna meet up right here, and the guy in your neighborhood that rapped the best, and we gonna see who rapped the best. It started out that way from the beginning. So for people to try to compare to other genres of music, like, oh, well, how come you never seen, Van Halen beefing with the Beatles? I'm like, okay, yeah, but that's a different thing, And hip hop is competitive. It's bravado. It's braggadocio,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing a lot of that.
He was doing a lot of that. How
And
how how do you coin the phrase "big three" and then don't have the balls to stand on top of it when it's time to show your big three energy? Like that's what just I was like, what? And even if he gracefully bowed out, um, let me ask your opinion on this. I feel like J. Cole pivoted and went the other way after he tried to jump in that battle, and people were like, "This ain't it." Like
yeah,
7 minute drill, this ain't it.
I
Like,
agree. I think the reaction to the song is what made him back off, because I think he threw his best shot, and
mhm.
everyone's reaction at best was like, okay, that was a nice jab. That's a nice way to start. And he was like,
Nigga jab, I was I threw a haymaker.
so, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. It's like, because no MC, here's the thing, J. Cole is an excellent MC.
Mhm,
And if I look at rapping like I look at comedy,
mhm.
the real MCs want that smoke. Like, I saw Lupe Fiasco the other day on stage, and he's like, I will battle anybody.
Mhm,
All y'all. Like, I think real lyricists feel like that. And so
mhm,
J. Cole's bars tell me that's what is within him.
mhm,
Yeah, because all the best MCs, they feel like that.
mhm.
So it's weird to go, because at first, before I heard like, I thought that what he was trying to say was, I'm not going to say Kendrick is whack. Like, I'm sorry that's not how I really feel about your music. Not the beef is over, but he's like, I'm out of it. And I agree with you 1,000%. I think that he knows now that he can't, he ain't built for that, which,
No.
which I totally respect. But I respect that sentiment if it's not you. But because you been talking like you that dude, and then you went in the booth and recorded that shot and put it out, you don't get to back out. And to be honest with you, I don't think actually I don't think Kendrick is gonna let him off the hook either.
No. Brian, that track had to be recorded, mixed, mastered, and then released. You had
Right.
plenty of time to go into your prayer closet or align your chakras or whatever else that it was that you needed to do I'm telling you, I feel like we was like, boo.
That's
And
why
people,
that's why I also I dock Drake a point. I give him I take credit and I give credit for the same action. And is that Drake is a brilliant manipulator of social media and the masses and all of those things. And that was part of his big, how he kind of beat Meek
yeah,
Mill.
yeah.
But that's why what he did was the smart move, but also the coward move. He
Call
put
it out, Brian. Call it out.
he let people think that his track might be AI for a week, just so he could see the reaction before he claimed it, right?
Before he claimed, yeah, thank you.
And
Thank
so,
you.
and again, I'm putting thoughts in his head. I would love to ask him about it, but I'm
He
pretty
ain't
sure
gonna admit it.
that's yeah. That seems like because why wouldn't you say it was yours when people are speculating? It doesn't make any sense. And I still don't think they've actually directly said it was theirs, but I don't know for sure.
He's claimed it now. He's claimed it now.
Oh, okay, so that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you let the track sit out there for a week, people saying it's AI, without just saying, yeah, no, it was me? You have social media. You didn't say anything. You didn't put anything up there. It's a good track, though. You
It
know,
it's hard. I don't know
yeah,
what I was I don't know what I was expecting from Drake, but I think J. Cole just blew me so bad. Like now I'm not even like all y'all just go sit down for a little bit. Like everybody go to timeout.
yeah. And here's the other thing. This isn't really a competition. I don't know why people think that none of these people are close to Kendrick Lamar, his lyrical ability. And they are great. They're great rappers. I'm not taking nothing away from, even the ghostwriting thing against Drake. I think that
Mhm.
I don't know how exaggerated those claims are. You know what I mean? Because he's also a R&B and pop star, and so it's easy to say he has writers. Everyone's gonna have collabs on the track. I don't think people are writing his raps. Is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't think that's a fair thing to level at him. But listen, y'all, Kendrick Lamar he's on another level, and it's weird because he takes so long to drop music that we act like we forget, and then he
Mhm.
blows our minds, and then he
Yep.
goes away for 5 years, and we forget again, and then he comes back. It's like only I put it to you like this: one of those people, one of the people in this beef, on
Mhm.
several occasions, has dropped one verse and had the entire rap world have to react to it. He
Done.
did he did it with the control verse. He did it on that cipher after the control verse. You know what
Mm.
I'm talking about? Where he said took a
Yes.
sensitive rapper in his pajama clothes. Okay,
Yes.
and then he did it with this last with this I forget
Mhm.
the name of the track.
Like that.
With the like that. So
Mhm.
only one of them has that kind of gravity in the rap world as big of a worldwide star as Drake. I mean, they know because Drake's disc was just talking about money and record sales
Yeah.
and all that, which is fine, but that's really all you got to
Yeah.
talk about. It's like I don't know what Kendrick's gonna say, but it's gonna be deeper than that, and I think it's ridiculous that any of them think they can hang. Lupe Fiasco wants the smoke. I don't think he's gonna get it, but
Yeah.
he's the closest there is to lyrically, I think, to being able to, and then Wayne. I hope Wayne doesn't get involved, but if he does, I'd be so excited. But Lil
Oh yeah.
Wayne, yeah, Lil Wayne is the only person right now in that. He's not the only person on earth, but I just mean
Mm.
at that caliber of
Yeah.
of of star,
Lyricism. Lyricism too.
Lil Wayne, right? That caliber of star and lyricism, Lil Wayne is the only
Mhm.
person that I wouldn't like if he jumped in a battle with Kendrick, I would be like, I don't know who's going to win this, but I
Mhm.
know who's going to win this. I don't
Yeah.
know if Kendrick is going to respond. He probably, but if he responds, we already know it's going to be crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, this dude is never giving you a regular song.
Never.
No, he always goes above and beyond creatively. I don't understand why people think that any of the Drake or I don't know why people think that.
I think it's just fandom at this point. Like the stand's gonna stand, like you said. It's whoever your fan base is, and if they're ride or die, they're just gonna be delusional and just follow you wherever you take them. But at the end of the day, I think the most prolific point that you made here was Only one rapper in this equation can literally shift the whole world when he opens his mouth.
Yeah.
And shift the culture. Everybody stops. I saw an old white lady in the grocery store. She was like, "Did you hear it like that? Did you hear Kendrick?" Like, it's like the whole world stopped when Drake dropped this AI track or whatever. And I'm like, okay, there's some cool punchlines and stuff on there, but when you hear Kendrick rap, when he said he would put the dogs in Pet Cemetery, like that, I felt that here. He's like, just be cautious how you move, because I'm still like it's just certain things that the wordplay, the emotion, the whole nine. So yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
And as far as the Kendrick Cole stuff, go back and listen to. I don't know if you heard this when it happened, but a while back it was all the speculation that they were going to drop an album together.
Yep, that they were supposed to do a joint
Yeah,
album.
but they dropped a thing called Black Friday. Remember that?
I do remember Black Friday.
And it was both of them took the beat from one of the other one's hits and made a whole different song with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you go back and you go listen to the originals and then go listen to the Black Friday and you tell me who's the better MC. Listen, this is not a shot at J. Cole's lyrical ability again,
right.
But I'm not gonna say Kendrick is on another unit. J. Cole and Drake, they're the next tier, and that's not bad. But you're not that. Because up here is rarefied. To me, that's Kendrick, Black Thought, Big Daddy Kane, like people that are easily the best of their generation. Yeah, because here's what I'll say about it. Why now are people all of a sudden, all of these people been rapping for at least a decade? Why now all of a sudden are we acting like it's close? We've never talked like this before.
No.
Now they've never directly beefed, but it's always been understood by everyone that it's Kendrick, and everybody else is trying to catch up. And so now all these all these other people think they caught up.
I blame J. Cole for this. I blame J. Cole for this whole thing because J. Cole started that big three talk. And Kendrick, like, ain't no big three, it's just big me. And I think that's why he snapped the way he did, because it was like the audacity of you all to even think that we are a trio. Like, we not, you know what I mean? So I think that's what really set Kendrick off, was like, because I look at it like this. And as I was listening to you talk, I was like, yeah, I'm with you. I think there's a difference between someone who has a gift and someone who is talented. Talent can be taught. I can teach you how to Dougie, right? But Dougie Fresh has the gift. He gonna come out and out Dougie your ass every time. And I think Kendrick has the gift, whereas the others, the J. Coles, the Drakes, they're talented. They studied the greats, they honed their craft. We watched them grow. Kendrick was rapping on par from day one, because it's a difference between a gift and a talent. And I think Kendrick just got the gift, whereas there are so many other talented people who can hone that craft and just grow. I look at you in comedy. I watched that special and I was like, oh, this is a gift. This is not a talent. Of course, you said it's something that's always evolving. Comedy is always evolving. You always grow and you get better, and you prune and all that. But the gift is there. And when the gift grows, that's just a bigger prize for everyone who gets to witness it. I just dropped some bars. Hold on. Come on.
Yeah, you killed it.
I killed it, didn't I?
Yeah. You gotta start a
they
track.
Lucky on rap. They lucky on rap, Brian.
Every hip hop head say that.
But yes. But thank you. I really appreciate you so much. And I literally could sit and talk to you all day. Like comedy and hip hop, I could sit all day.
Well, the feeling is mutual, and I appreciate your time and you dropping the.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'll see you next week.
All right. Talk soon.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.